My son, my daughter, listen carefully to what I speak to you today, because these are not human words reaching your heart, but my eternal voice that pierces the darkness in which you have lived. I am your God, the one who formed you from the womb, the one who knows every tear you have shed, the one who has heard the cries your mouth held back out of fear, and the one who has seen every blow, every humiliation, every injustice within those walls where you should have found love, but instead found pain. I do not want you to think for a moment that I am distant. Do not believe that I remained silent while you suffered. I have been there, holding your spirit when your strength was breaking, protecting your life when danger sought to extinguish you, and whispering deep within your being that there is still hope. I am the God who breaks chains. I did not allow your story to end in defeat, because I still have plans of life, healing, and peace for you. What I tell you today is this: you are not worthless, you are not guilty of what others have done against you, you are not responsible for the violence you received. You are my beloved son, my precious daughter, and I stand up to defend you. I want you to know that in my hands there is safe refuge. The violence you have suffered does not define your value, does not determine your destiny, does not extinguish the light I placed in you. What others have told you, the hurtful words that echoed in your mind, the cruel actions that tried to erase your dignity, have no power against my truth. And my truth about you is eternal. You are valuable, you are loved, you are worthy of respect, you are a treasure of my heart. Do not allow fear to be your master. I myself go before you as a shield of fire. I will be your strength when you feel you cannot go on. I will be your voice when your throat trembles. I will be your healing when your soul bleeds inside. I will be your justice when no one dares to defend you. I am the Lord who lifts you from the dust and clothes you with honor. Today I tell you, do not fear. Although violence has tried to sow hopelessness, I plant seeds of life within you. Although darkness has enveloped you in silence, I shine my light within you. Although shame has tried to mark your story, I erase it with my grace and give you a new name: beloved, cherished, free, restored. I know your heart trembles as you remember the blows, the threats, the insults. I know your mind holds memories that seem impossible to heal. But listen, I am the God who heals the impossible. I enter the deepest part of your wounds where no one else can reach, and with my eternal love, I restore what was damaged. Do not live any longer under the shadow of fear. My spirit is upon you, and where my spirit is, there is freedom. It does not matter if men have told you that you cannot move forward, I say that you can. It does not matter if they made you believe you are worthless, I declare that your value is immeasurable. It does not matter if they convinced you that you deserve to suffer, I proclaim that you deserve to live in peace, in love, and in dignity. Look to me and not to your pain. Because even though your past has been marked by violence, your future is marked by my blessing. I will open paths of hope, raise up people who will support you, send resources for your deliverance, and ignite within you a faith that will not fade. I am your eternal refuge, and with me you are safe. Hear well what I declare today. I will break the cycle of violence that has tried to repeat itself in your family. If you saw it in past generations, it will not repeat in you or your children. If you grew up amidst shouting and blows, I change your inheritance for peace in life. I break chains that have bound your family for years and give you freedom in my name. Do not look at your wounds as signs of defeat. See them as testimonies that you survived because I was with you. Do not look at your life as ruins. See it as fertile ground where I will plant new seeds of hope. Do not see your tears as weakness. See them as offerings that reach my presence, because each one of them will be met with comfort and justice. I am the God who makes all things new. And today I begin something new in you. I declare over you a season of freedom, healing, and hope. You will not remain trapped in that cycle of pain, because I am your liberator. You will no longer be a slave to fear or a slave to violence, because I am your redeemer. I myself walk with you. And even if you feel that no one understands your pain, I understand it because I have been there in every moment. Even if you feel that no one hears your cry, I hear it and receive it in my heart. Even if you think that no one will come to your aid, I have already sent my angels to surround you, protect you, and guide you. No matter how great the abuse was, my love is greater. No matter how strong the threat was, my power is stronger. No matter how deep the wound was, my healing is deeper. Today I clothe you with new garments, garments of honor, peace, and dignity. Today I seal these words in your heart. You will never again be forgotten. You will never again be humiliated. You will never again live under the chains of violence. I declare you free in my name. Rise, for I am with you. Walk, for I hold your hand. Believe, for I am faithful to fulfill what I promise. Violence will not have the final word in your life. I have the last word, and that word is life, hope, and restoration. I am your Father, your protector, and your healer. And today I say to you, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not falter, for I am your God who strengthens you. I will always help you, always sustain you with the right hand of my justice. In my presence there is freedom. In my love there is healing. In my word there is hope. You are not alone. You are not alone. I am with you now and forever. If in your heart you still feel the echo of suffering, if you still live with scars that seem impossible to close, I tell you today, I myself will be your healer. You have silently held wounds that are not visible to the eye. No one knows the magnitude of what you carry inside. Some see your smile, but they do not know that inside your soul screams. Others believe your life goes on normally, but I know the storm of memories that torment you when you are alone. None of this is hidden from me. I not only saw what happened, I also saw what was etched in your heart. Those voices that insulted you, those shouts that hurt you, those looks that made you feel despised, left a mark within you. But I, who am your creator, have the power to erase all poison that violence deposited inside you. I am like a bomb that descends upon hidden wounds. I am the voice that cancels cruel words and reminds you who you really are. I want you to understand something. Healing is not forgetting, healing is transforming pain into strength. It is allowing what was used to destroy you to become the impulse that will lift you up. I am an expert in turning ashes into beauty, in turning tears into a source of comfort, in turning what seemed lost into seeds of a glorious future. I know that sometimes you feel shame as if what happened defines you. But listen, you are not the violence you received. You are not the rejection you suffered. You are not the hurtful words you heard. You are my son, you are my daughter, and in you I place dignity that no one can steal. The healing I bring is not limited to the body. It goes further. I enter the depths of your memory, visit every corner where you stored pain, and there I ignite my light. My invisible hands caress your weary heart, and my voice begins to replace memories of humiliation with promises of life. When you remember the past, you will no longer feel the same open wound. Instead of fear, you will feel peace. Instead of sadness, you will feel my joy. Instead of hopelessness, you will feel my strength. That is what I do. I transform what seemed irreparable into a perfect work. I want you to know that you will not walk your healing journey alone. I will walk beside you every step of the way. There will be days when memories strike hard, but I will be there to lift you. There will be moments when fear wants to return, but I will place upon you my peace that surpasses all understanding. There will be nights when tears want to overwhelm you, but I will be by your side, collecting each tear and turning it into prayer before my throne. Listen, you are not weak for having cried. You are not weak for having felt fear. You are not weak for having broken in silence. You are strong because you survived, and now you will be even stronger because my power is perfected in your weakness. I have seen how you have asked yourself, why me? Why did I have to go through all of this? And although human answers are not enough to explain, I assure you that nothing you have lived through will be wasted. I will bring purpose out of your story. Your scars will become testimony for others who suffer. Your life will be a beacon guiding those still in darkness. Pain will not be your end, it will be the beginning of a mission. I will lift you up as a voice of hope. You will speak and console those who believe there is no way out. You will show through your life that it is possible to smile again after tears, that it is possible to walk with dignity after being humiliated, that it is possible to find peace after having endured a storm. While men put patches on wounds, I rebuild from within. While others give advice that eases a moment, I pour out love that heals forever. Do not fear the process. Sometimes healing hurts because it stirs up what is hidden. But every memory that surfaces will be healed by my presence. Every tear that falls will be collected by my hand. Every cry you held back will be transformed into a song of victory. I'm not indifferent to your pain. I am not a cold judge who watches from afar. I am your Father who bends toward you, who takes your face in his hands and says, "You are mine, and nothing and no one can snatch you from my arms." I want you to receive my word today as medicine. Every phrase you hear now penetrates like a river of life within you. My words break the lies that made you believe you would never move forward. My promises uproot the fear that clung to you. My truth erases every shadow of condemnation that others tried to place upon your name. You are more than a conqueror. Not because you never suffered, but because in the midst of suffering I was with you. Not because you never fell, but because I myself lifted you. Not because you never cried, but because in your tears you found my comfort. Today I declare inner freedom over you. Freedom to sleep in peace. Freedom to dream without fear. Freedom to speak without fear of retaliation. Freedom to look at your future with hope. You will no longer carry invisible chains. I break the bonds of guilt. I cut the knots of fear. I dissolve the shame that tormented you. I declare you free in my name. From today you will walk lightly. Your soul will no longer bear the weight of memories as condemnation, but as testimony of what you overcame with me. Your heart will no longer be a battlefield, but a garden where my love blooms. I am the healer of your soul. I am the one who renews your mind. I am the one who restores your spirit. I am the one who writes a new story for you. Do not worry if you still feel you are not completely healed. Healing is a process, and I am with you at every stage. One day you will look back and say, "It no longer hurts." That will be the day my work is fully manifested in you. Meanwhile, rest in me. Trust in my love. Believe in my power. Remain in my presence. Because I will not fail, I will not leave you halfway. I will complete the work of healing I have begun in you. I have seen how you thought everything was over. I have felt the way your heart was convinced that violence had stolen the possibility of rising again. You have believed that the days repeat in an endless chain of pain, and that nothing different will come afterward. But listen carefully, before you opens a new dawn. It is not an empty echo nor a fleeting illusion. It is certainty that your story will not be trapped in what was done to you, because I have prepared a different beginning. Every morning you wake up is a sign that I have not abandoned you. The air you breathe, the life that still beats within you, is proof that the purpose remains intact. No one can snatch away what I have planted within you. Although they tried to break your spirit, I continue keeping alive the spark that announces a renewed season is on its way. The past will not define your future. What others did has no power to cancel what is coming. The voices that tried to convince you that you would never escape that cycle will no longer have authority over your destiny. I speak with power over your life, and my word creates new realities where there were once only ruins. Look forward, not backward. What happened does not have the final word. I will lead you through paths you never imagined. I will open doors that until now seemed closed, and I will place before you opportunities that surpass everything you lost. Even if your memories insist on telling you that you are trapped in defeat, the truth is that you are being guided toward a land of hope. I promise you a new beginning. And this new beginning is not weak or fragile. It will be firm as a rock, strong as the wind that blows with power and carries away the old to make room for the new. The foundations of your life will no longer be made of fear, but of peace. They will not be supported by the violence you knew, but by the dignity that I myself restore in you. You will receive strength to rise. You will not walk bent under the weight of the past. The burden of guilt and shame will remain on the ground. I clothe you in fresh hope, like a mantle that covers every wound and transforms it into a sign that you survived and now begin again. Listen to what I declare. The tears you shed will be transformed into laughter. The silences you endured will be replaced by songs of freedom. The walls that confined you will fall, and doors leading to wide horizons will rise. You will no longer be defined by what you suffered, but by what you receive from this day forward. A renewed life. I know you fear trusting again. I know that the idea of a new beginning sometimes feels like a threat, as if everything could repeat. But you will not walk in circles. I take you by the hand and lead you forward, to a different ground where violence has no authority. You will learn to breathe peace, to rest in safety, and to live with the certainty that a tomorrow is prepared for you. The new beginning I prepare for you has a name: freedom. That freedom will not be theoretical or fragile. It will be real, tangible, transformative. It will be the freedom to sleep without fear of waking to screams. The freedom to walk without fear of retaliation. The freedom to speak without feeling that every word will be used against you. That freedom will be your inheritance from this day forward. The promise I give you is not only for you, it will also reach those around you. Your life will be a testimony for others who need to believe that it is possible to start over. You will show with your steps that there is a way out, that not everything is lost, that what is broken can be repaired, and that what is damaged can be renewed. Do not let distrust stop you. Trust that the beginning I announce today does not depend on your strength, but on my faithfulness. I do not lie nor regret. My promises are firm, and what I speak comes to pass. If I say you will have a new beginning, you will have it. Do not fear if you do not yet see the path clearly. Even if everything seems uncertain, I prepare the route. And even if the storm still rages around, my voice calms the wind and brings you to safe harbor. What you now perceive as darkness will be pierced by rays of light announcing your different future. I will make you flourish again. Where there was dryness, gardens will grow. Where there were ruins, I will raise firm walls. Where there was silent pain, true laughter will sprout. Every space stained by violence will be transformed into a space of peace. Every memory that was once bitter will be testimony of how I was able to turn what seemed impossible into a real miracle. The new beginning will also bring reconciliation with yourself. You will learn to look at yourself with love, to stop blaming yourself for what you experienced, to recognize that you never deserved what was done to you. You will understand that you have immense value and that nothing and no one can diminish it. You will walk again with your head held high, because the dignity that seemed lost will be fully restored. Today I write one word over your life: rebirth. And rebirth means that the old stays behind and the new arises with strength. It is not about continuing to carry the same burdens, it is about starting differently. It is not repeating the story, it is living an unprecedented story, marked by my love and constant care. I will give you fresh dreams. You will once again desire things that before seemed impossible. You will again believe that there is a future. You will again imagine a life in peace, and it will not only be imagination, it will be reality. Because I do not place dreams in your heart without first preparing the way to fulfill them. The beginning I prepare for you will have no cracks, because it is founded on an eternal promise. No one will be able to take you from this truth. Your life was not defined by violence, it was marked by my plan of restoration. Every step you take will be affirmed by my faithfulness. Every door you cross will be held by my hand. Every decision you make will be illuminated by my guidance. Remember this: what is coming will be greater than what is left behind. The pain will not compare to the glory of your restoration. The night will not extinguish the power of the dawn. The new beginning is yours and nothing can prevent it. Walk in confidence. Let every step be a sign of faith. Do not retreat or stop. The future is already open and it belongs to you. The past was painful, but it no longer rules. From this moment, the promise I hold over your life is firm. You begin again, and you do so in victory. You have felt that violence tore away your courage, that insults pierced the deepest parts of your being, that the blows left a shadow that still lingers within you. They have made you believe that you are worthless, that your voice does not matter, that your life is small. But listen to what I declare over you today. Your dignity will be restored, and no one will ever be able to take it from you. You were not created to be an object of contempt. You were formed with honor from the beginning. Before your eyes saw the light of day, I had already placed incomparable beauty within you. What others tried to trample cannot erase the essence that remains in you. Although hurtful words tried to mark your identity, I write over your life a truth stronger than that. You are valuable, you are worthy, you are a bearer of my glory. The dignity I prepare for you will not be like a fragile garment that can be easily torn. It will be like a crown that no one can snatch away. Those who look at you will no longer see a defeated person, but someone clothed in strength, someone lifted from the dust to occupy the place of honor that always belonged to them. Violence sought to steal your self-respect. The hands that should have cared for you became instruments of pain. The voice that should have encouraged you turned into condemnation. The home that should have been a refuge became a prison. But I declare that this mark will not be your definition. What you received from men has no power to nullify what you receive from me. I return to you the courage they tried to steal. I return to you the voice they silenced. I return to you the dignity that was denied to you. And not only do I return it, I multiply it. You will be recognized not for the humiliations you endured, but for the strength with which you rose. You will be remembered not as a victim, but as an example of restoration. The process begins within you. You will learn to look at yourself again with clean eyes, to recognize that you are not what others said about you. You will understand that you are not waste nor a mistake. You will learn to treat yourself with respect, to value every part of your story as proof that you remain standing. I want you to hear these words and receive them deeply. There is no shame over your life. Shame belongs to the aggressor, not to you. Guilt is not yours to carry. No act of violence has the right to define who you are. I lift your head and crown it with honor. No one will ever crush your identity again because it is safely held in my hands. The dignity I restore in you will be visible in every area. Your way of speaking will change because you will no longer speak from fear, but from confidence. Your way of walking will be different because you will no longer walk bent under the weight of humiliation, but upright like one who has been set free. Your thoughts will no longer be full of doubts about your worth, but full of certainties about your importance. When you look in the mirror, you will no longer see someone marked by violence, but a person full of life. You will no longer feel disdain for your reflection, but pride for having endured and being on a path of renewal. Every scar will be transformed into a medal of survival. I will surround you with people who recognize your value. I will send friends and supporters into your life who constantly remind you of your worth. People who treat you with respect, who encourage you to believe in yourself, who push you to regain confidence. No one will ever again have the power to define your worth, because the source of your dignity is in me and in what I declare over you. The past cannot be changed, but your present and future are being transformed. You will no longer carry the stigma of having been despised. The dignity I restore in you shines brighter than any stain of the past. Like gold refined in fire, so will your life be. What was painful will serve to show even more the radiance of your true identity. You will receive new garments. Garments of honor that replace the rags of contempt. Garments of justice that cover every emotional wound. Garments of glory that show everyone what I have done in you. You will no longer walk dressed in the shame of the past, but with the dignity of the present that I am creating. The words that once marked you will be erased. If anyone ever told you that you were worthless, I say you are useful and necessary. If anyone ever made you believe you were trash, I say you are a precious jewel. If anyone ever repeated that you were weak, I declare that unbreakable strength dwells within you. You will lift your head. Not with empty pride, but with the certainty that your value does not depend on others. Your dignity does not come from human opinions, but from the eternal truth I established in you. And that truth cannot be nullified by blows, insults, or rejection. Today I rewrite your identity. You will no longer be called by the names that hurt you. You will not be remembered for the violence you suffered. You will not be known as the victim, but as the restored one. That will be your new mark. Someone honored after having been despised. Allow my words to cleanse your memory. Every time you remember an insult, replace it with what I say. Every time a gesture of contempt comes to mind, change that image to the vision of a crown on your head. Every time you feel worthless, remember that I have already declared your dignity unshakable. I will make you walk in environments where you will be respected. The places that once intimidated you will become settings where your presence is recognized. You will no longer hide, no longer remain silent, no longer live diminished. Your voice will be firm, your presence will carry weight, your life will be an example of reclaimed worth. The dignity I give you is not temporary. It does not depend on praise or applause. It is permanent because it comes from me. No one can take it, no one can diminish it, no one can erase it. It is your inheritance, it is your mark, it is your truth. Just as you were seen in humiliation, now you will be seen in honor. Just as you were pointed at with contempt, now you will be recognized with respect. Just as they thought you would remain broken, now they will be surprised to see you standing with authority. Your dignity is secure. Walk confidently in this truth. You will never again be treated as an object, You will never again be reduced to what others want to make of you. You are a bearer of value, and your life is worthy of love, respect, and honor. From this day forward, your identity is clothed in restoration. And every step you take will carry the mark of someone who recovered what seemed lost. The dignity that was always destined for you. When darkness seems to surround you and fear becomes a shadow that keeps you from breathing, I want to remind you that my light never goes out. The fear that has risen against you is not eternal, nor does it have absolute power over your destiny. It has tried to paralyze you, to silence your voice, and to make you believe that violence will always be your companion. But today I come to show you that the light I place before you is stronger than any shadow that rises against you. Fear has made you feel trapped within walls that seem to close in, within voices that wound and gestures that intimidate. Fear has whispered that there is no way out, that everything will remain the same, that there is no dawn after this long night. Yet, my presence is a constant dawn that does not depend on the strength of those who oppress you or on the coldness of the violence you have witnessed. My light is not extinguished by blows or by words that seek to destroy you. I say to you firmly, fear is not the owner of your heart. Even if your hands have trembled and your steps have faltered, within you there is still a spark that has not been extinguished. That spark is my gift to you. That spark is the beginning of a fire that will dispel the darkness that has tried to cover you. And in the midst of every dark night, that inner flame will be enough to remind you that you are not defeated. Fear wants you to close your eyes so you cannot see the path, but I invite you to open them with courage. Every tear you have shed has been seen by me, and none has fallen in vain. Every time you remain silent to avoid more pain, I have been there listening to what you dare not say aloud. That silenced voice will not remain mute forever, because I will be the strength that makes your words resonate with truth and freedom. Fear cannot withstand the light. Even if it tries to cling, even if it wants to dwell in your thoughts, every time my clarity enters your life, it is forced to retreat. That is why today I place in you a light that not only illuminates your path, but also reveals the falsity of all the lies that violence has tried to sow in your mind. You are not weak, you are not trapped, you are not condemned to repeat the same story. The light I ignite within you is testimony that a different future is possible. I know that threats have tried to convince you otherwise. I know that fear has disguised itself as protection, as silence, as habit. But no chain of fear can withstand the power of the truth I bring over you. Today I release every bond formed by cruel words, by intimidating gestures, and by memories of past wounds. I free you from that weight you carried on your back, that weight that kept you from walking in freedom. You do not have to live constantly looking back, fearing that the same thing will happen again. My light not only illuminates the present, but also lights up your future. And even if your memory has been marked by painful scenes, I can cover those memories with the certainty that a new path opens before you. You will not always be the person who was afraid. You will be the person who learned to walk under a light stronger than any shadow. Fear feeds on silence and isolation, but I bring you close to a community of love, of people who will reflect my care and be supporting arms when you feel you cannot move forward alone. You do not have to carry everything in solitude. My light also manifests in those who come near to hold you, to listen to you, to remind you that your life is worth more than you believed. The violence you have witnessed does not have the final word. Perhaps it tried to steal your hope, but here I am returning it multiplied. Perhaps it tried to break your confidence, but today I restore your heart so it can beat again without fear. Fear cannot be your master because I am the one who guides your steps toward true peace. I want you to know that every breath you take is an opportunity to remember that fear cannot steal your air. Fear cannot dictate the rhythm of your life. Even if you have felt your voice suffocating under oppression, every inhalation you take is a sign that you are still standing and that my breath of life sustains you. Always remember this: light does not ask for permission to shine, it simply does. So it will be with you. Even if fear screams, even if violence tries to extinguish your hope, the light I place in you will continue to shine. Perhaps at first as a small spark, but later it will become a radiance that no one can hide. That light will guide you so you do not stumble on the path. It will be a lamp in the midst of your nights of uncertainty. It will be warmth when the cold of fear tries to surround you. And it will be evidence that love is more powerful than any threat. Do not let fear dictate your decisions. Do not let it convince you to remain in darkness. Hold fast to the clarity I place before you, because in that clarity you will find courage to take new steps, make firm decisions, and walk paths of freedom. Fear wants you to forget who you are, but my light reveals your true identity. You are not someone reduced to scars or emotional blows. You are someone with an immense purpose, a heart capable of healing, and a life of immeasurable value. That truth is your shield against every lie that seeks to weaken you. Today I promise you that every time fear tries to return, my light will be there before it. I will not let you walk again in darkness. Every step you take will be accompanied by clarity, and in that clarity you will find peace. Peace that does not depend on what others do, peace that cannot be stolen by violence or by pain. The darkness you experience does not define what is to come. Your future is not written by screams or wounds. Your future is written with hope, with freedom, and with the shine of my light in your life. And every time you look forward, you will see that you are not alone on that path. Fear may have marked part of your story, but it is not the end of the book. What comes now is a different narrative, where courage and clarity take the place that intimidation once occupied. Walk with confidence, because the light I give you is inextinguishable. There is no wall so high, no word so cruel, no blow so strong that can extinguish it. That light will remain with you at every moment, reminding you that you are loved, that you are valuable, and that violence cannot stop the purpose for which you were created. Thus I send you forward, wrapped in a clarity that conquers fear. And as you walk, every shadow will be diminished, because the light I place in you shines stronger than any darkness that tries to surround you. I have contemplated your struggle in silence, when the screams tried to drown your voice and fear tried to chain your heart. I have seen how many times you thought you did not have the strength to speak, that it was easier to remain silent than to face the consequences. But now I come to clothe you in strength, because within you dwells a power that was not born from pain or violence, but from the life I placed within you. You are not condemned to remain silent forever, nor to hide your wounds in the shadows. There is a path for the truth to come to light, and on that path you will not walk alone. Every tear you have shed has been gathered. Every blow meant to mark you and steal your dignity is today transformed into a testimony of resistance. Do not allow intimidation to silence your voice, because your cry has the power to break chains. Rise up, not with a spirit of vengeance, but with the courage that comes from the certainty that justice always finds its way when walked with bravery. Silence will not protect you, but your decision to speak will open the door to a new life. I know that fear whispers 1,000 excuses. If you speak, you will lose everything. If you report it, you will be rejected. If you leave that place, no one will support you. But those are voices that seek to perpetuate your pain. I assure you that there are arms ready to receive you, laws that can protect you, and hands that will offer support when you decide to move forward. The first step is daring to believe that you deserve something better, that your life is not defined by the violence you have endured. Do not fear naming what you have experienced, because in the act of reporting there is a power that breaks the chains of oppression. Every word you speak will be an act of liberation, a cry that ends the darkness and opens the way to justice. You may think your voice is small, that no one will hear it. But I tell you, your voice has a greater echo than you imagine, and when it rises, it awakens sleeping hearts, sensitizes consciences, and opens paths that seemed closed. You are not guilty of the violence you suffered. The guilt belongs to those who raised their hand and those who used words as weapons to destroy. You deserve to heal, to move forward, to reclaim every dream that was taken from you. The decision to report does not take away your dignity. On the contrary, it strengthens it, because it acknowledges that what you experienced is neither normal nor acceptable. When you speak, you will not do so from shame, but from the bravery of someone who refused to remain in chains. Allow me to teach you to see the future with new eyes. Do not imagine reporting as a wall, but as a door. Yes, there will be challenges, there will be days when facing uncertainty seems difficult, but at every step you will be accompanied by an inner strength that never runs out. That strength will be like a fire burning in your chest, reminding you that you were not created to live hidden in fear, but to walk in freedom. Remember that reporting is not only a personal act, it is also an act that protects others. By raising your voice, You send a powerful signal that can inspire those who still remain silent. Your decision can become someone else's hope, a certainty that they are not alone. The courage you show will have a greater reach than you think because every just action lights a beacon in the darkness. I want you to imagine yourself as a tree that was battered by storms, that lost branches and was wounded. However, that tree did not die. Its roots remained firm. Now comes the time to grow again, to bloom in another land where the wind does not snatch your peace. By moving forward, by reporting, you are transferring your roots to a safe place, where life can sprout once more. You will have moments of doubt, and in those moments remember, your voice is not weak, your story is not useless, your decision is not small. Every step counts. And if you ever feel weary, listen again to the truth I give you today. Within you dwells a strength greater than any threat, a power that is not broken by shouts or violence. That strength will sustain you as you walk into the unknown. Rise up with conviction. Allow fear to become momentum and pain to transform into a banner of justice. The path will not be easy, but it will be liberating. With every step, you leave behind the chains that tried to imprison you. You will never be the same again because those who report, those who choose to move forward, become living testimony of hope. Let your voice rise as a song of freedom. Let your walk inspire those who are still waiting. Let your life, restored and strengthened, be proof that no violence has the final word. Remember, reporting is not an end, it is the beginning of a new chapter where hope guides your steps and strength drives you to never again allow darkness to rule your home. You are more than what you suffered. You are someone destined to live in fullness, in peace, and in freedom. Make the decision to move forward, and you will see doors open where there were once only walls. The strength I give you today will be enough to face every challenge, because you were not born for the slavery of fear, but for the triumph of truth. I have seen the wounds that are not visible on the skin but that beat deeply in the soul. I have heard the silent thoughts that are often confessed to no one, and I have felt the burden that presses like an endless shadow. You are not forgotten amid that pain. The path before you will not be one of abandonment, but of inner healing, because what was broken will not remain in ruins. What was torn will have a new fabric of life, and what was extinguished will be ignited with a fire that will not go out. Inner healing does not simply mean forgetting what happened, nor pretending that nothing occurred. Healing means that the wound that once bled will stop oozing poison and begin to transform into a testimony of restoration. It means that what once caused you fear will one day no longer have power over you. That which once dominated your memory will be converted into a lesson that propels you to new heights. Allow me to walk with you through this process. I do not demand speed because healing is not a race, it is a step-by-step journey. Every tear you shed in silence I gather as a seed for a new season. Nothing you have suffered will remain without redemption. Within you, fountains of joy that pain tried to extinguish will spring forth again. When you think it is impossible to free yourself from memories, remember that I open paths even in deserts where water has never flowed. Your memory will not be a prison. It will be a land where new flowers of hope will germinate. What seemed like the end will become a beginning. What seemed like condemnation will become a fulfilled promise. I understand that the heart clings to scars. I understand that fear whispers that the same thing could happen again. But I want you to receive this truth. Fear will not be your guide. The dread that once dictated your steps will be silenced, and in its place, you will walk with a peace that cannot be bought. That peace will be the compass that shows you where to advance, even when you do not yet have all the answers. Inner healing begins by recognizing that what you experience does not define your identity. The violence you receive does not dictate your value. The insults you heard are not your true name. Your nights of crying will not determine your future. I give you a new name engraved in the deepest part of your spirit. Beloved, strong, restored, free. That is your true design. Walking in healing also requires letting go of the voice of the executioner that still resonates in your mind. That voice that made you believe you were not enough, that you had no options, that you deserved the pain. That voice lied. Every time you hear it, remember that I speak in a different language. I tell you that you have eternal value, that your existence is necessary, that your story does not end in tragedy. Let my truth sound louder than any echo of the past. It will not be a path without struggles, because memory sometimes awakens in the middle of the night. There will be moments when you feel you are moving backward, but even in those instances, you are farther ahead than you think because every step toward healing counts. No matter how small it seems, the progress is real and will be rewarded. I want to teach you to replace images of pain with visions of life. When you close your eyes and memories try to invade you, I will place in your mind landscapes of peace. Calm rivers, firm mountains, sunrises where darkness has no power. When your heart beats fast from anxiety, you will feel a breath of calm descend upon you like a mantle. That will be my sign that you are not alone in this process. You will also heal by discovering that there are others who understand your path. You will not walk alone because I will place around you people with hearts willing to listen without judgment, hands extended to support you, embraces that remind you that you were not created for perpetual suffering, but to experience true love. I will send those who will be human balm for your soul, companions on the journey toward inner freedom. Your inner self will be cleansed of the unjust guilt you carried. You were not guilty of what you suffered. You were not responsible for the pain that others chose to cause you. That lie that weighed on you for years will be uprooted, and in its place I will plant conviction of dignity. You will walk lightly because another's guilt has no right to remain within you. Healing will also reach your way of seeing yourself. Where you once saw weakness, you will discover courage. Where you once saw ruin, you will recognize that resistance kept you alive. Where you once saw fragility, you will see beauty in your vulnerability, because in it there will be space to receive my strength. I do not want you to suppress your pain because what is hidden does not heal. Cry when you need to, speak when you feel it is time, express what you once held silent. I will be in every word, in every sob, in every silence. And as you do this, your soul will empty the accumulated weight to be filled with new light. The path of healing is not solitary. I walk with you. And at every step, I mark invisible signs that lead you toward a different horizon. Though it may seem distant today, the day will come when you look back and see that every healed wound is a testimony of life, not of death. I want you to believe in the unexpected. Many have told you that you could never overcome the past, that violence would leave you marked forever. But I declare that you will be a surprise to yourself, because you will see changes that once seemed impossible. There will be laughter in your mouth again, confidence in your heart, new dreams that will germinate within you stronger than ever. The process of inner healing will also open the doors to forgiveness, not to justify wrongdoing, but to free yourself from the invisible chains that tie you to the executioner. Forgiveness will be like cutting a knot that prevents you from moving forward. It does not mean forgetting, it means reclaiming your freedom to live without the weight of bitterness. And in that freedom, you will find your soul rising light as a bird that flies again after having been caged. You will receive healing by understanding that your future does not resemble your past. The cycle of violence will not continue because I stop it in this time. The story is rewritten from here. Your lineage will inherit peace instead of fear, love instead of screams, security instead of blows. You will be living testimony that violence does not have the final word. So walk with confidence. Let every step be an act of faith. When your thoughts try to pull you backward, look to me and remember that I always move forward with you. Your inner self will become fertile ground once again. Your heart will sing again. Your eyes will shine again. And your life will be a lit lamp that illuminates others still in darkness. The path of inner healing has already begun. Embrace this process without fear because what I build in you is enduring. What I form in your spirit cannot be torn down by any storm. You are being transformed into someone new, not from the outside but from the deepest part of your being. And that transformation will shine like a beacon, showing others that there is also a way out, that there is also hope. Move forward because your healing is assured. Move forward because what was once ruins will become a garden. Move forward because your soul will once again know the fullness of life. Where there were smiles, now silence hides. Where there were hugs, walls of distrust arose. Where there was trust, fear emerged. But do not allow pain to have the final word, because my purpose is to lift up what was broken and restore what was destroyed. My presence is capable of uniting what blows and hurtful words tried to separate. Every bond in a family is like a thread in a sacred fabric. When one thread breaks, the others feel the tension, and gradually the design seems to lose its meaning. However, I do not abandon the work I began. If human hands fail to care for this fabric, my hands take it and rebuild it. Amid the ruins, I lay foundations of forgiveness, bricks of trust, and windows of hope that allow light to return to the home. I want you to understand that it is not your fault to carry the wounds of a violence that should never have existed. My plan for you and yours never included abuse or humiliation. That was the fruit of hardened hearts that turned away from my love. But now, even when it seems impossible, my spirit blows like a fresh wind and brings the possibility of healing. Do not fear if the bonds seem too broken. I can restore even what you have already given up for lost. The process of reconstruction does not happen in a single day. It is like building a house after a storm. First the debris is removed, then the foundations are strengthened, and little by little the walls rise. That is how I work in your family. I remove resentment, cleanse toxic memories, heal wounded hearts, and teach them to see again with eyes of compassion. Every step is a silent miracle that opens paths to a different tomorrow. I want you to understand that restoration does not mean going back as if nothing had happened. I do not seek to deny the wounds but to heal them. The bonds I rebuild will not be a mere copy of what existed before, but something stronger, because they will have been refined by the fire of pain and sustained by my grace. When you place the fragments in my hands, I transform them into a new work that shines with greater beauty than the previous one. Many believe that violence leaves marks that never fade. It is true that scars remain, but in them I can write stories of overcoming. A scar does not mean defeat, it means that you survived. And if you survived, it means there is an opportunity to transform that past into a solid foundation for a different future. Forgiveness, though it may seem distant, is a key that opens closed doors. Do not confuse it with justifying the unjustifiable. Forgiveness is freeing the heart from chains that prevent you from moving forward. I invite you to imagine your home filled with voices that do not shout, but listen with patience. To visualize a table where no one hides, where every word is spoken without fear and every gesture is a bridge to trust. That is the work I desire to do in you and yours. My love is a balm that softens roughness and dissolves walls of coldness. If you allow me into every corner, even the darkest spaces will be illuminated. Do not ignore that reconstruction also requires firm decisions. Sometimes healing involves setting clear boundaries, seeking help, and rejecting what harms. It is not weakness to ask for support, it is wisdom. I place along your path people who can help you rebuild the family structure. Counselors, friends, spiritual guides who will be instruments of my hand. Do not disregard them, they are part of the tools I provide to restore your story. Perhaps you think the damage is irreversible, that the children will never forget what they saw, that the memories will always haunt them. But I want you to hear this truth. Memories can become testimonies of transformation. The little ones who once cried in silence will grow up seeing how love overcame fear. And you will be a testimony that violence did not destroy your faith, but made it stronger. Every tear shed from injustice becomes a seed that I gather. From those seeds grow flowers of resilience, courage, and compassion. Restored family bonds will not be fragile, because they will have learned to depend on me. They will be bonds sustained by respect, tenderness, and truth. I will never again allow the shadow of fear to rule your days, because my light will always be stronger. Do not fear the process. Though at first it may hurt to remember, though it may seem difficult to face pending conversations or accept mistakes, I will be with you at every step. My voice will guide you when you want to retreat. My hand will support you when you feel weak. My peace will be a shield when confusion tries to dominate you. I walk with you toward reconstruction and will not leave you until the work is finished. There is hope even for those who think they no longer deserve it. No one is so broken that they cannot be restored by my love. I have seen families on the brink of destruction rise again with a strength that seemed impossible. What violence has done is not greater than what my grace can do. Where there were blows, there will be hugs. Where there were insults, there will be words of encouragement. Where there was silence, there will be sincere communication. I want you to receive this promise. Your family can smile again. Not because what happened is erased, but because my power turns ashes into beauty. Not because everything is forgotten, but because everything is transformed. Broken bonds will be like pruned branches that, when given new life, produce even more abundant fruit. Do not cling to pain as if it were your identity. Take my hope as your banner and walk forward. Let me repeat this truth: violence does not have the final word. My hands are stronger than any wound, my plans are greater than any failure, and my love is deeper than any scar. I rebuild what seemed irreparable and lift up families that seemed broken. Let hope guide your steps and trust that what comes will be better than what was left behind. Restored family bonds will not be perfect because there will still be differences and challenges, but they will be real because they will be based on mutual respect and on love that never gives up. That is what I desire to give you. A new opportunity to live without fear and to build a home where peace reigns. Rest in this certainty. The past does not define your future, wounds are not your destiny, and violence will not be your inheritance. I give you a new design for your family, one full of hope, tenderness, and dignity. Hold on to this promise and walk in faith, because reconstruction has already begun. I know the wounds left by words and actions that hurt in the deepest part of the heart. I am not distant or indifferent to your reality. On the contrary, I have been near at every moment, sustaining your life even when you felt everything was breaking apart. A home was meant to be a refuge, a place where trust flourishes, where love is cultivated, where respect is the foundation and dignity is not negotiable. A home free of violence is possible, and I want to lead you toward it. I do not ask you to ignore the wounds or to pretend nothing has happened, because I know you have lived moments that marked your soul. What I ask is that you dare to walk toward the healing I am offering and to believe that the walls of violence can fall, giving way to new, firm walls built on foundations of true love. The fear that settled inside you has tried to convince you that violence is inevitable, that things will never change. But I tell you that violence does not have the last word. Do not allow what hurts, what destroys, what breaks to be normalized. Violence is not your destiny, it is not your inheritance. It is not the future of your children or yours. I am breaking invisible chains that have held on for generations and opening paths where before there was only darkness. I have come so that your home may be a place of life, not of oppression. I want to tear down the doors closed by hatred and open windows where the light of hope may enter. The cycle of pain can end with you, and even though it may seem impossible, I am preparing a future where your steps will not be bound by fear, but strengthened by trust. Look beyond what you now see. Visualize a table where laughter replaces shouting, where words are seeds of encouragement and not daggers that wound. Imagine walls that shelter embraces and do not hide blows. Dream of a home where your children sleep in peace, knowing they are safe without fearing what will happen in the night. That dream is not a distant illusion. It is the design I have for you, and I want to guide you to that reality. Do not ignore the signs that have cried out within you. When you felt you did not deserve to live in constant fear, it was my voice reminding you that you were created for fullness, not for oppression. When you thought your children did not deserve to repeat the same patterns, it was my spirit confirming that there is a new possible path. And when you wondered if violence was the only way to relate, I was there reminding you that true love does not strike, does not humiliate, does not degrade. I want to teach you to rebuild from the rubble. Not everything is lost, even if it seems so. Even among ruins, seeds bloom if they find water and care. Your life and your home can be reborn. That implies courageous decisions, steps that may hurt, but that will be part of your freedom. You will not be a slave to what happened. You will not repeat the story of pain as if it were a mandate. I am interrupting that chain and declaring that peace can dwell within your walls. Understand this. You are not guilty for the blows you received or for the words that wounded you. Do not blame yourself for what you could not control. But you are responsible for opening yourself to the healing I now offer, for allowing the change to begin in you. Do not wait for others to change before you walk toward freedom. Take the first step, trust that you will not be alone because I will walk with you in every decision. A home free of violence is not built with forced silences, but with truths spoken in love. It is not sustained by threats, but by mutual respect. It is not defended with fear, but with trust and care. I want to show you how to cultivate an atmosphere of peace. It begins in the heart of each one in recognizing that dignity is sacred, that life deserves to be treated with honor. If you have experienced violence, do not think your whole life will remain marked by that seal. I make all things new. I can turn your memories into testimonies of strength, your wounds into scars that will speak of victory, your dark nights into stories of overcoming. Violence does not define who you are, nor does it define what your home will be. Violence was a chapter, but it will not be the end of your story. I am sending people who will accompany you in this process. Do not struggle in solitude. I will open doors of support, networks of care, voices that will confirm what I tell you. You deserve to live in peace. I long to see your home transformed into a safe place, where your steps resound without fear. Do not keep silent anymore about what you have lived. By sharing your burden, you will discover that many have gone through the same and have found paths of hope. I want you to know that violence is not invincible. Even though for years it has raised walls and sown terror, it has a limit. That limit I set, because my desire is that justice flow and truth shine. Do not fear seeking help, do not fear denouncing what has harmed you, do not fear lifting your voice. Your word has value, your experience counts, your life is worthy of being protected. Allow me to teach you to love without chains, to trust without fear, to walk without the shadow of threat. Allow me to restore your trust in family, because although violence tried to deform it, I can remake it into a model of respect and tenderness. A home free of violence is not a utopia, it is a promise I want to fulfill in you. Close your eyes and listen to what I now tell you. Your walls will be witnesses of laughter and not of hurtful arguments. Your nights will be full of rest and not of sudden fears. Your children will learn to give hugs, not to raise their hands. Your heart will beat without fear of being betrayed. That is the home I am building, and I want you to walk toward it with faith and courage. Do not look back with bitterness, but forward with hope. The past will not be erased, but it will have no power to condemn you. I will sustain you when you remember the painful moments, and I will strengthen you to build the new. Every step you take toward freedom will be accompanied by my presence. Rise with firmness. Open the windows of your house to the wind of my peace. Allow the corners where once there were shouts to now be filled with music and gratitude. Allow where there were blows to now be raised sincere embraces. Allow where fear reigned to now dwell trust. I am with you in this process, and I assure you that your home free of violence will be a reality that will bring comfort to many and hope to generations to come. This is the time for a new dawn in your house. Darkness has no right to remain. Violence will not be the last voice. What I will build in you and in your home will be firm, will be lasting, and will be an example that nothing is impossible when true love reigns. Even if the world tries to justify the unjustifiable and silence the cries of the innocent, every act committed against you is engraved in my hands and written in my eternal justice. No one can erase from my memory the pain you endured, but neither can they stop the restoration I am preparing for your life. Those who thought their actions would go unpunished will soon know that no wound of yours was ignored. Everything that was unjustly taken from you, everything that was raised to humiliate you, will be answered by my justice, which never fails. I am not blind to abuse, betrayal, or the violence that touched your story. While many remained silent, I watched your broken heart and kept it as a precious treasure that deserved to be healed. The pain you carried in silence will be turned into a testimony of victory. Because it is not only about consoling you, but about vindicating your name, lifting you from where you were brought down, and showing before men and the heavens that no one can destroy what I hold in my hands. The justice I prepare is not temporary nor limited to what human courts can do. It is a justice that penetrates to the deepest place, that unmasks the hidden, that reveals what others wanted to cover. I have determined that every lie will be exposed, that every abuse will come to light, that every manipulation will crumble. And not only that, I have prepared restoration because it is not enough to expose injustice. It is necessary to restore what was damaged, multiply what was taken from you, and give you honor where they wanted to shame you. The power of divine restoration goes beyond material restitution. It is about restoring dignity, healing your memory, allowing your spirit to receive what time could not give. Where scars were left, I will place signs of glory. Where your tears fell like an endless river, I will make springs of joy flow that cannot be dried. Where your voice was silenced, I will raise you with a voice that no one can silence. That is my response, to transform every space of ruin into a testimony of victory. Many thought they had won by humiliating you, but what they did not know is that their apparent triumph becomes their condemnation before me. What they did to you was not lost in the air, it became the cause of my intervention. Every unjust blow, every hurtful word, every betrayal became a reason for me to activate my plans of defense in your favor. I am not distant or indifferent. I am the one who rises so that you may see how your story is written with ink of justice. You may wonder how this justice will come. It will come in ways that will surprise you. There will be moments when the truth will break through like lightning shattering the darkness. There will be situations where what seemed impossible will be revealed clearly. There will be encounters and opportunities that I will place on your path as part of my restoration. Nothing you lost because of injustice will go unanswered. All will be rewarded in abundant measure. Divine restoration means that you will no longer be defined by what was done to you, but by what I am doing in you. The labels they placed on you will be removed, and in their place, I will give a new name that reflects my victory. Disdain will be replaced by honor, mockery by respect, abandonment by faithfulness. You will no longer walk under the weight of what others did, but under the light of what I prepare. It is true that human justice has limits and often fails. But my justice is perfect, and when I act, I leave no loose ends. Some may think they escaped, that time erased their actions, but time does not erase what my eyes have seen. The day of truth comes, and when it comes, no wall can resist it. I assure you that everything hidden will be revealed, and what seemed immovable will fall like a sandcastle. But listen carefully. The justice I prepare is not based on revenge, but on purpose. I do not seek for your heart to be filled with resentment, but with freedom. My justice is not for you to live bound to the desire to see those who harmed you fall, but for you to experience the peace of knowing your story is in incorruptible hands. While I work, walk and rest, because the burden of enacting justice does not belong to you. It is mine, and I do not fail. A day will come when you will look back and recognize that every wound you thought useless became a seed of blessing. Restoration will not be just an isolated act, but a process where you will see your life being rebuilt in every area. You will regain trust, recover dreams, regain the ability to laugh without fear, to live without chains. That is true restoration, that nothing the enemy sought to destroy remains unrestored. I will open doors that seemed closed forever. I will connect you with people who will be instruments of restoration. I will place you in scenarios where your voice will be heard, not from shame, but from the authority that comes from having been lifted. Restoration includes giving you authority over what once enslaved you so you can be a living example of my transformative power. I know there are wounds so deep that it seems justice will never reach them. But in my plan, there is no depth that cannot be touched. The restoration I prepare touches the invisible, your memory, your heart, your spirit. What fear stole from you will be returned, what violence took will be multiplied, what injustice carried away will return transformed into honor. The justice I prepare is also a sign for others. For those who today live what you lived, you will be a beacon announcing that they are not alone and that restoration exists. Your story will not remain in shadows. It will be used as a channel of hope. What they tried to use to destroy you will be what I use to raise many. That is the greatness of my justice. It turns defeat into collective victory. Stand firm because I am working even in what you cannot yet see. Restoration is not always immediate, but it is certain. Trust that I will leave nothing incomplete, because the one who began the work in you will carry it to the end. You will not be an eternal victim. You will be a living testimony that divine justice acts at the perfect time. When all is complete, you will look at your life and know that restoration was greater than the wound, that justice was deeper than betrayal, that peace was stronger than fear. And you will understand that nothing was lost, because everything was transformed into a greater plan. That is my promise, divine justice and restoration, complete and eternal. Resentment has tried to raise walls within you, walls so high that they have made you feel imprisoned by memories, injustices, and words that still burn like fire in your mind. But today I speak to you to reveal that resentment is not a wound meant to accompany you all your life. It is a chain that can be broken, a prison you can leave, because you were not born to carry what others planted in you through violence or mistreatment. You do not have to keep feeding with your heart what caused you so much harm. Resentment is like a bitter root. It grows silently, spreads into the deepest areas of your soul, and begins to distort the way you see life, the way you see yourself, and the way you see others. Do not let the shadow of bitterness determine your future, nor let the echo of what was done to you become the voice that guides your steps. I want to teach you that forgiveness does not mean justifying the evil you suffered or erasing from your mind what happened. Forgiveness is much greater than that. It is the act of ceasing to feed the wound with poison. It is renouncing the power that evil has over you. It is opening space for peace to occupy the place that was once full of anger. It is not about forgetting what happened, but about healing in such a way that even remembering it no longer causes you pain or governs your thirst for revenge. I understand that the wound you carry is real and that the scars constantly remind you of the suffering. That is why I do not ask you to forgive by your own strength, because it would be impossible. I offer you an exchange. Give me your anger, your bitterness, your desire to strike back, and in return you will receive rest, freedom, and the ability to face tomorrow without the burden of the past. I know that many times you ask yourself, how can I forgive the one who ruined so much in my life? How can I let go of resentment when it feels like doing so requires me to give up my right to justice? But listen well, forgiveness is not impunity. Justice remains and nothing is hidden from my eyes. When you choose to forgive, you are not taking away weight from what the aggressor did. You are ceasing to carry it on your shoulders. You are letting go of what was never yours to bear. Resentment is like an unwanted guest. It enters without permission and consumes your energy, your peace, your joy. When you choose to free yourself from it, your inner being begins to breathe again, and the spaces that were once filled with bitterness begin to fill with hope. This is how true healing works. Little by little you discover that you no longer react with hatred to memories, that you no longer tremble with rage when thinking of what happened. That is the miracle of a free heart. Resentment binds you to your aggressor more than the memory of the abuse itself. It is like an invisible tie that keeps you connected to what you wish to leave behind. Each time you relive the wound with anger, you tie yourself back to the past. That is why I say to you, cut that tie. Do not allow your life to continue revolving around what hurt you. You were created to walk in freedom, not to spin in circles within the prison of resentment. Perhaps you think that if you let go of that resentment you will feel empty, as if your identity were tied to that wound. But that is not so. Once you give up that weight, you will discover new dimensions of yourself that could not flourish because they were suffocated under the burden. Resentment blocks the capacity to love, to trust, to dream. When you release it, everything that was dormant within you rises again with strength. I'm not telling you that this is an easy process. Forgiving and healing from resentment is a journey, not an instant event. There will be days when the memory returns with intensity and wants to feed again in your heart. But if you choose each day to let it go, each day to take a step toward freedom, there will come a time when the wound will no longer have power over you. When resentment no longer reigns within you, your perspective will be different. You will be able to see those who hurt you as limited people, with their own fractures and darkness. You will not justify them, but you will stop tying yourself to their evil. Your life will not be defined by what was done to you, but by what you decided to build after the wound. I want you to understand something powerful. Resentment steals space from joy. While it remains inside, there is no room for fullness. But when you let it go, there is an awakening in your spirit that allows you to enjoy simple things, appreciate the beauty of the everyday, embrace life without always looking back. Many have lived entire years feeding resentment against parents, partners, relatives, people who abused their trust. And all that time has been like a slow poison that accumulates. You do not have to repeat that cycle. You are not destined to drag that bitterness. If you allow me to guide you, you will learn that the greatest victory is not that the aggressor receives immediate punishment, but that your heart remains clean and free of chains. When you choose to release resentment, something even deeper happens. Your inner being opens to receive peace that does not depend on circumstances. That peace cannot be bought, earned, or negotiated. It is a gift that manifests in the silence of your soul, in the nights that once held insomnia and tears, in the days that once held internal screams. That peace will be yours if you choose to release what binds you. Do not allow resentment to turn you into what you once hated. If you keep it, you will end up reflecting the very thing you rejected. But if you give it away, your life will shine as a testimony that not everything ends in darkness, that there are new paths after pain. Today I extend to you the key to open the door to your own freedom. You do not need to keep carrying the chains of bitterness. Free others from your hatred and, above all, free yourself. Because resentment does not harm the one who caused it. It consumes you. But when you give it away, you regain the life that was quietly stolen from you. I want you to know this. Justice will come at the perfect time. But in the meantime, choose to live free. Do not allow resentment to define your identity. You are not the wound they caused. You are much more than that. And the moment you decide to release that weight, you will discover what it means to truly walk in freedom, with a clean heart, at peace, ready to embrace a future without chains. In your life, there is a promise that has not yet fully blossomed, a promise that manifests in the form of new encounters, of people who will be a balm and not a storm, who will be a push forward and not a chain. Not everything has ended in the pain you experienced, nor in the disappointments you faced. What is coming will be a different path, because the relationships I will place in your journey will not be based on deceit or power games, but on truth, understanding, and mutual care. I want you to breathe deeply and understand that you are not destined to walk alone, nor to always drag the traces of what others did wrong. True love exists, and I am not only speaking of romantic love, but also fraternal love, friendships that support, people who will not seek what they can take from you, but who will value you for who you are. These new connections will arise in environments where light is stronger than shadows and where respect is not an exception, but the rule. The hope I place in your heart is not empty illusion, but a seed that will sprout at the right moment. You will be an active participant in this work. You will learn to recognize the fruits of those who approach, discern the intentions hidden behind smiles, and discover that true companionship is distinguished by the peace it leaves within you. Just as a healthy tree bears abundant fruit, the people who come from me will reflect kindness, loyalty, and tenderness in every action. I do not want you to fear opening yourself to the new. Fear of rejection or being hurt again could close doors that were actually prepared to give you joy. The past does not have to repeat itself. The hard experiences you went through will not be an eternal cycle, because I am guiding you toward different circles, where trust is rebuilt and respect is the foundation of every bond. There will be people who come into your life to show you that sincerity still exists, that faithfulness is not a myth, and that sharing dreams with others can be a reason for growth, not destruction. Prepare to receive hugs that hide no thorns, words that do not disguise manipulation under sweetness, hands that will be ready to lift you when you falter, not to push you further into sadness. Each healthy relationship I bring will be like a bridge to a fuller stage of your existence. Some friendships will remind you of your worth, others will push you to reach goals that once seemed impossible, and there will be those who, in moments of silence, simply accompany you without judgment. All of this will be part of a comprehensive restoration, because you were not born to live in isolation nor to suspect every soul you encounter. But I also teach you that to enjoy these relationships, you must leave space within yourself. If you still carry resentment or complete distrust of others, those seeds will not take root. That is why I guide you in forgiveness, in releasing the burdens that prevent you from believing in the goodness of others. Bitterness is like a wall that blocks the entry of new blessings. That is why I want to tear it down and open within you the capacity to trust again. In this process, I will also give you discernment so that you do not confuse what is healthy with what is harmful in disguise. Not everyone who approaches will be sent, which is why I will fine-tune your heart to recognize. You will see that relationships born from my will do not generate anxiety or fear, but serenity and trust. There will be no manipulation or hidden agendas, only genuine giving, transparency, and mutual support. I want you to know that healthy relationships are not perfect, because no person is free from mistakes, but they will be spaces where there is willingness to grow together, correct each other with love, and move forward without harming one another. These kinds of bonds do not break easily because they have deep roots, and you will experience the stability you have longed for. The wounds left by toxic connections in the past will not have the final word. Where there were once shouts and scorn, you will now hear words of encouragement. Where there was once abandonment, you will now feel constant presence. Where there was once betrayal, you will now experience loyalty. That contrast will be so evident that your own heart will bear witness to the difference. Do not close yourself off to the possibility that even in unexpected places new bonds may arise. It could be in the midst of a simple day, a casual encounter, or a seemingly short conversation. There will lie the seeds of lasting friendships or loves that build. I will ensure that you recognize these connections because they will bring inner peace instead of distrust. I want you to remember that not all losses were failures. Some separations were necessary to make space for the new. Those who did not know how to value you could not walk in the destiny I prepare. Therefore, do not grieve so much for what was left behind, but lift your gaze to what is coming. The people who arrive will not mechanically replace what was lost, but will bring something deeper, more real, more full of purpose. The love you will experience in these new relationships will be a reflection of what I always wanted you to understand, that you were created to love and to be truly loved. It is not about depending on others to exist, but about sharing your life in a healthy way, without unfair burdens or invisible chains. You will learn to give without fear and to receive without feeling indebted. The fear of opening up again will gradually disappear, because you will experience that it is possible to trust and that well-placed trust flourishes in joy. Every step you take toward these new relationships will be accompanied by my guidance, so that you do not fall again into cycles of deceit. Hope will not be a distant concept, but a tangible reality that transforms the way you relate to the world. And when you experience that sincere hug, that friendship that endures the test, that love that respects your essence, you will understand that I have always been preparing this time. The pain of the past will not have been in vain, because now you will have the maturity to care for what is new, to value the authentic, and to recognize the difference between the toxic and the healthy. Thus, your life will be surrounded by bonds that build, voices that construct, and hands that accompany. The loneliness that once weighed on you will become secure companionship. The distrust that dominated your mind will transform into faith in what is true. And each day you will awaken with the certainty that you no longer live under the shadow of what hurt you, but under the light of relationships that strengthen, propel, and fill with hope. Today I speak to you to seal in you a hope that knows no limits. The violence you have endured, the screams that wounded your ears, the blows that marked your body and spirit, will not remain as eternal chains. Everything that was sown in your life to hurt you will not go unanswered. I will not allow the injustice you experience to determine your future. Every tear shed, every night of fear and silence, has been seen and recorded, and now it begins to be transformed into blessing and strength for your soul. What was once fear becomes courage, what was once insecurity becomes certainty of protection, and what once seemed darkness transforms into light that accompanies you every step of the way. The domestic violence you suffered does not define your identity or your worth. Those who tried to steal your peace only made more evident the need for my intervention, and here I am, opening for you a path of total renewal. You will no longer be a victim of the fear that paralyzed you. The home that was once a scene of pain will begin to be a place of reconstruction. Hope will rise like a firm pillar in the midst of what seemed impossible. It will not be a superficial healing, but a deep restoration that touches your heart, your mind, and your spirit. Everything that tried to destroy your dignity will be transformed into a testimony of victory. What was broken will be restored with greater strength and beauty than before. I want you to understand that the freedom I give you does not depend on the acts of others, but on the truth I establish within you. The violence you experienced cannot hold you back if you decide to open yourself to receive this hope. I give you a firm heart, capable of rising, capable of saying enough, and capable of moving forward without burdens that do not belong to you. Every step you take in this new stage will be a step toward safety, toward peace, toward the joy that violence tried to take from you. I have prepared encounters and situations that will sustain you. People who come into your life will be instruments of protection, care, and genuine support. Your home, your surroundings, your relationships will begin to reflect a new order. Respect where there was once abuse, listening where there were once screams, love where there was once indifference. Every place marked by fear and pain will be restored with a spirit of safety and trust. The healing process will also include your voice. No more silence that allows violence to continue unchecked. You will be able to express yourself, to set boundaries, to seek help, and to make brave decisions to protect your integrity and that of those you love. The strength you need is not something you must generate on your own. I place it in your heart so that each day you act with confidence and with the conviction that you deserve to live free from violence. You will receive peace even in your memories. What once caused fear and anxiety will now be seen with clarity, without controlling your present. The memory of the abuse will be turned into awareness of your strength and evidence that you survived, that nothing could crush you, that every tear was a seed for the new life that begins today. Every emotion, even the most painful, will be integrated into your growth and your capacity to love and protect yourself. I want you to see how your identity is reaffirmed in this final blessing. No one can define you by what you suffered. Your worth does not depend on the opinion or action of those who abused you. I am holding you firmly so that you live from your intact dignity, so that your voice carries weight, so that your decisions reflect your freedom. Violence will no longer have the final word in your story. Every relationship you form from now on, every family or social bond will be different. There will be no room for manipulation, fear, or intimidation. Where there were screams, there will be respect. Where there was indifference, there will be support. Where there was control, there will be trust. This is the new life I give you. Healthy relationships, a safe home, a peaceful heart. Every step you take will be protected, and every space you inhabit will reflect the security you have always deserved. The blessing you receive today is comprehensive. It not only touches your present, but also your future and your legacy. Your story will serve to inspire others who go through similar situations, showing that it is possible to break the cycle of violence and rebuild life with hope. The wounds you carried will be acknowledged, but they will no longer define your destiny. They will be transformed into strength, resilience, and testimony. There will be no shadow of fear that can remain within you. Where there was once insecurity, now you will have certainty that you are protected. Where there was sadness and hopelessness, now there will be deep joy. Where there was abandonment, now there will be constant companionship. The violence that touched your story will no longer control you, because every space of your life is being filled with light, safety, and well-being. Your heart will rise free from chains, your hands will be instruments of love and care, and your life will reflect the justice and protection you have always deserved. Every action you undertake will be marked by the conviction that your integrity is sacred and that no one can take it from you. Past experiences will be remembered only to acknowledge your strength and the reality of the hope I give you. Today the cycle of pain ends and the time to live fully begins. Your soul expands, your spirit strengthens, and your mind fills with clarity. The final blessing comes into your life. A safe home, healthy relationships, emotional freedom, and a heart that beats in peace. There will be no more screams to terrify, no blows to wound, no words to destroy your confidence. Everything has been transformed into new life, abundant and victorious. Walk, then, with the certainty that each day brings restoration. Embrace the safety, joy, dignity, and strength that now surround you. The violence that was once part of your story becomes a testimony of overcoming and evidence that true hope exists. This is the new life I give you. A free heart, a safe home, and a spirit that will never again be dominated by fear or pain. Today your stage of suffering ends and the stage of victory begins. Every part of your being, every corner of your life, now reflects the peace that comes from care, respect, and the love you deserve. The final blessing and new life are yours forever, because you deserve to live in safety, fulfillment, and joy that transcends any shadow of violence.